Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. That was actually just my pencil from school. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is directed by David Yates and stars Eddie Redmayne, Katherine Waterston, Collin, Farrell, Ezra Miller, and Dan Folger, and is about Eddie Redmayne's character, Newt Scamander, who's in New York. He's kind of a connoisseur of these magical beasts. He's very compassionate about them, and some of them escape, and him and Dan Folger go on this adventure along with Katherine Waterston, and Collin Farrell's kind of the bad guy, and then this adventure ensues, and we're back in the Harry Potter universe. How awesome is that, guys, that we're getting more movies, and they're actually planning to do 5 of them, so hope this one's good, right? Yes, it is. It is pretty darn good, so don't worry about it, but is it as good as the other Harry Potter movies for me? I don't think so, and we'll get into reasons why. Now, David Yates directed the last 4 installments to the Harry Potter collection, the Harry Potter universe, and they're actually some of my favorite ones. David Yates is a very talented director. Actually, Order of the Phoenix is kind of my second favorite. It's not the most popular, but I really like it. And I think my favorite Harry Potter movie actually is Deathly Hallows Part 2. What he did with that movie was so great, how he ended the series just perfectly. So when he was signed on to do Fantastic Beasts, I could not have been happier, and he did deliver for the most part. Let's just get straight into positives, okay? Let's go to performances. Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander is absolutely perfect. I love this guy. Eddie Redmayne is such a tremendous actor that I wasn't scared. I wasn't apprehensive of going into this movie about it because Eddie Redmayne's fantastic. If you've ever seen The Theory of Everything, what he did in that movie is some of the best acting I've ever seen, and he won the Oscar, very well deserved for that. And he was really good in this movie. Perfect casting. Katherine Waterston, she has an interesting dynamic. She plays a character who's a part of the American Ministry of Magic type of deal, and she kind of is after him at the beginning, but they kind of join up and are part of this adventure that goes along, and she does a pretty darn good job. I was surprised by her. Dan Folger, I have not always been a huge fan of Dan Folger. I don't always think he's very good, but he was really good in this movie. I really liked him in this movie for the most part. There was some scenes where I was like, your comedy's not hitting very well, because he definitely is the comic relief, but he's good at it, and he does have some dramatic moments, and he does pretty darn well. Collin Farrell as kind of the villain-ish. He's part of that, again, the American kind of Ministry of Magic, and he doesn't have much to do. Collin Farrell's a really good actor, very talented, but he doesn't do a whole lot in this movie. But when he's on screen, he is good, and he does a good job with this character, but again, there's just not a lot for him to do. Ezra Miller plays kind of a different character for him. He plays this boy who is in a very bad situation in his life. And Collin Farrell's character is kind of taking advantage of him for reasons that I'm not going to say, but Ezra Miller plays this very shy, kind of distraught young boy, but he does a really good job, and I'm very excited to see, because I haven't seen much of Ezra Miller, to be quite honest with you, but seeing what he did in this movie, he does really well in his role, and so I'm really excited to see what he does with the Flash, too, because it's a really, really different character. I was nervous about the CGI from the trailers that I've watched going into this movie, and for the most part, it was really well done. Some of the beasts look really cool, but some of the beast CGI I think was overused. There's this overuse of CGI and overdependence on it that we're getting too inclined to use, and that kind of happened in this movie too. There's a lot of CGI, I think more than Harry Potter, but the beasts did look really good, most of them. There's actually one particular little creature that kind of steals the show. He's hilarious and cute. It's great. Like I said, Eddie Redmayne's character I loved. I loved his character a lot. He's very compassionate about these beasts. And the America wizards and witches, they're a lot less empathetic to the beasts. They kill them more. He had a really good message to his character that they just don't understand them, and he wants to protect them. And that's a really good message in this film that they didn't beat you over the head with, that I really appreciated. Also, the music was super good in this movie. I really liked it. I have to check to see who composed the music. It wasn't as good as the other Harry Potter movies, but it was really well done. I really enjoyed the music. It was also really, really cool to see the American side of the wizarding world. We've seen Hogwarts, and now we get to see America, and it was really different. The different dynamic they played. They don't call them the non-magic people muggles. They call them non-mages, which is kind of weird, but I liked it. I really liked the dynamic there. This movie is not as fast-paced as the other Harry Potter films. That being said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I wasn't bored throughout the movie at any time, but it just wasn't as quick. I did feel myself at the end saying, all right, are we done yet? Are we getting there? Again, I don't think you have to be a huge Harry Potter fan to enjoy this movie either. I think they did a good job about that. You don't need to have just watched all 8 Harry Potter movies before this to get a lot out of this film and enjoy it, which was a bonus to this movie. Now, I do have some negatives with this film that I do have to address. Number one being that sometimes it felt like they were too worried about setting up the franchise. Again, like I said, there are 5 of these movies planned, than the movie at hand. It wasn't as bad like Batman v Superman was about setting up the Justice League in DC Universe, because that was ridiculous. But this movie, it is noticeable in this movie. Also, the humor didn't always sit with me, like I talked about Dan Folger's character. It was a little bit darker of a film. That's not a bad thing than the other Harry Potter movies. It was a little darker than I expected, but the humor wasn't always hitting as much as I think they wanted it to. Ezra Miller's character has a storyline with Colin Farrell's character that kind of detracted from the movie, kind of messed up the pacing. The pacing was a little off because of that. Now, I realize that storyline is important to the story as a whole, to the movie as a whole, and I get what they were trying to do and what they did. It's not like it was terrible, but sometimes the pacing just felt a little off, and the tone at times felt a little off. Nothing too drastic, but because of that storyline, it was noticeable. Also, not all the minor performances were all that great. Some smaller characters, I noticed the acting was not that good. Not a huge deal, but again, noticeable. The finale had this huge, big, grand thing. Again, and I'm fine with that. It's a Harry Potter movie, right? But why does every finale feel like it has to have some massive destruction now? You know, even with Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, it's always like these superhero movies, big action movies, has to have all this CGI and destruction happen. Now that happens in this movie, it's not a huge issue, but I'm just wondering why everything has to be buildings being destroyed all the time. Not a huge deal. It was a cool finale. I liked what happened in the finale. There's also a really cool reveal in the finale if you've been following the news surrounding Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But again, this wasn't really necessary. I guess the biggest thing for me is that I didn't really feel that genuine Harry Potter magic again like I did in the other films. Now, it wasn't a huge detriment to the movie. It just didn't hit me as much and compel me as much as the other Harry Potter movies. I did really enjoy it, and the ending was kind of prolonged. Like they were tying everything in a bow really nice and setting up the next movies. Ending was kind of prolonged, so alright, let's get on with it. But I mean, not really that bad. Not bad at all. And I mean, overall thoughts, this movie is a good movie. I mean, it sounded like I had a lot of negatives, but a lot of my negatives were really small, and my positives were big positives. Performance, the story was so cool, the Beast, I really loved Eddie Redmayne's character, and I'm super excited to see where this franchise goes from here. They set up the universe really well. Eddie Redmayne is going to be great. I cannot wait to see where we see Grindelwald and all these other characters that they kind of mentioned, introduced. It's going to be very fun. I can't wait to see the Harry Potter universe is back, guys. Be excited. I'm going to give Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them a 7.6 out of 10.
Time is running out. Mr. Scamander.
Eddie Redmayne's character really loves animals. Wow. Peter would love this guy. He's got a good message. I'm not going to do anything with a stupid wand. I'm sorry. Dumb idea. So that was our review for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Guys, comment below. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Are you excited to see where they go? Are they as good as your favorite Harry Potter films? What are your favorite Harry Potter films? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Make sure to subscribe. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter for more movie reviews and trailer reaction and reviews. We've got more stuff coming for you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.